Aristotle, once upon a time, held that there are four causes that explain the universe, or four sources of the things that we see in the universe. This is the four causes theory of Aristotle. Thank you. The four causes can be illustrated by referencing an illustration. Let us imagine a pot and a potter. And there are four explanations for why this pot exists. One is the material explanation, or the material cause of the pot. You can think of the materials, the literal physical materials out of which the pot was constructed, in explaining the existence of the pot. The other is the efficient cause. The hands of the potter, working to form the clay, brought this pot about. In fact, Aristotle would say you cannot explain the existence of the pot without referencing the potter and the efficient cause. Still another is what Aristotle called the formal cause. Okay, so we could illustrate this as being in the mind of the potter. The form of the pot is something that the potter retains in his mind. And that's what enabled him to formulate this pot as it is. Here are three of the four causes then: material, efficient, and formal. Where the form of the pot is just the core idea that enables the potter to conceive of that which ultimately becomes the pot. And for Aristotle, you can't explain the existence of the pot without referencing all three of these causes. But there's also a fourth cause that Aristotle thinks explains the existence of the pot. Okay, I'll illustrate it in the form of money. These are dollar bills here. Okay? The potter is making the pot for the sake of money. And without that reference to the sake of money, we can't explain the pot's existence. And this is the final cause. That for the sake of which the pot is done. The teleological cause, as it were. Telos being final, or end, or purpose. This is the purpose of the pot. Namely, that it earn the potter money. And for Aristotle, all four of these causes actually are essential to explaining the existence of things in the world. Anything can be explained in terms of all four of these causes: material, efficient, final, and formal. The material being the physical stuff, the efficient being the means by which the physical stuff was brought about, the formal being the idea that animates the physical stuff, and the final being the purpose for which the physical stuff is here. Descartes, in Meditations 5 and 6, and I'm not going to have enough time to get into this point to any great extent today, but I do want to just reference it real briefly. Descartes, in Meditations 5 and 6, makes a fundamental break with two of these causes. Okay, this is really important. It's really important because basically the whole of the scientific revolution descends from this fundamental break with two of the great Aristotelian causes as explanations of the world. Okay, Descartes disputes the final cause and the formal cause as explanations for the things that we see in the world. And when you think of theories like Newton's or Galileo's, right, Newton's laws of matter and motion, Newton actually is a Cartesian descendant, and he explains the world entirely with his laws of matter and motion in terms of the material and the efficient cause. There it is, matter and motion. And it is precisely because earlier thinkers like Descartes discarded the formal and final causes as explanations for why things in the world are the way that they are. Now, the process by means of which Descartes ended up discarding the formal and final causes of Aristotle. It's a relatively lengthy process, and I realize now it was overly ambitious to think that I could accomplish it in today's lecture along with the other things I was trying to do. So we'll have to save it for next time. But for now, remember the four causes of Aristotle. Remember also that Descartes does away with two of these causes in the fifth and sixth meditations, or he dismisses them, maybe injudiciously. He could be wrong, okay, as explanations of the world, but that is the turn that the world took. And subsequent thinkers like Newton, Galileo, etc., proceeded to use just two causes when they provided their scientific explanations for the development of materiality and the proceedings of materiality vis-a-vis each other. Okay? So that's all you need to get out of this right now. Any questions or comments about that? Cool.